It's long before your internet burned bright. I have awaited
A
a question.
Stuart, something's wrong with both of our things. Doesn't.
We lost our Q powers. Oh no!
Our guardian powers. Are we a guardian of the Q? The Q, the guardian of a foreverness? Stuart, it's so confusing! Who are we? What are we? When are we?
Cue the discussion.
That's good. That was a dad joke, but it was top of your head. It gave more credit to it. You know, it feels too genius to be a dad joke, you know?
Welcome back, guys. Today, we're talking about Carl. Not Carl Weathers, even though he's on The Mandalorian.
I thought that as soon as you said it.
I know you did.
Did you really?
No, I didn't. It's just... yeah. We're not talking about Carl Weathers. We're talking about Ed Carl, though. And is he a Q or a Guardian of Forever?
Or a hologram?
Or something completely different?
Time traveler man? I mean, Law Reloaded said, is there any evidence he's not future... Oh, no, that was for the Section 01 guy. Is there any evidence he's not future guy from Enterprise? And I'm like, is there any evidence he is? What do you mean? What do you mean, is he?
There's less evidence that he is than there isn't.
And it's called all of it. Yeah, that was a weird... But he likes to just say things to cause people to discuss. And that's, you know, his shabam.
Yes.
Just getting...
Anywho, welcome back, guys. Good to see you guys. Hit that like button if you haven't. We have 106 people here already, which is great.
And you should click like. I mean, you should.
Yeah, I hope this is going to be a good poppin' discussion because we got lots to talk about, I'm sure. You guys probably have suggestions and ideas and theories, so put them in the super chats if you can, and help out the channel as you will.
You may think that through a 2-hour and 46-minute live review, we would talk about everything. We were both biting our tongues on this topic to save it for today. It might not seem that way, but we were. Bye, swag. Down below.
Yes. Speaking of, go share this video, Samuel.
Oh, okay. Bye.
I need to talk to these fine people. Like I said, guys, if you're able to super chat, please consider doing so, or heading on down to the Trekyards Teespring store down in the description of every video. There's links there for Eagle Moss. You can save yourself some money. I just actually edited an Eagle Moss review today, so you guys should be excited about that. It is not Star Trek, though. It is another one of those awesome sci-fi franchises that might or might not be created by Seth MacFarlane. You'll have to wait and see. I'm not sure when it's being released yet, because I still have to do another one to coincide with it, because one is going to be released on the Trekyards main website, Trekyards YouTube. The other one is going to be released exclusively on the Captain Foley personal channel as a Captain Foley channel exclusive. So you get to see both channels. Hopefully you are subscribed to both. If you're not, please consider doing so. Hitting that subscribe button is a great way to help. But if you want your voice heard, your comment read, your question answered, any of your theories talked about or discussed on air, it's a great way to interact with the community and with us live in real time. Hit that hit that super chat button. Shoot us a little bit of a super chat, which helps the channel. Like I said, we do all of those content for you for free. And we'll get your comment or question right on the air because we do read all of them. If you can't afford a super chat, just hit that like button. Very important. We can easily hit 100 likes right now. If you guys just hit that like button, because 140 of you here, which is awesome. So hit the like button. If you just want to put your your stuff in the regular chat, we will read those as well. Not all of them, obviously. We'll pick some of the best ones and have the discussion that way. So lots of ways to help us out. You can also send a PayPal via trekyards@hotmail.com. Just make sure you notify us in the chat that you've sent the PayPal so that the moderators will let us know that you did that, and we can read your comment or question via the email through PayPal as well. We will also... and like I said, yes, check the description of every video. Lots of great stuff. The Teespring store has some really cool Trekyards merchandise. If you do like Trekyards, see, Trekyards. So check it out and go see what you might be interested in. It is the holiday season. Maybe you can get somebody to buy you something Trekyards related, or you can buy yourself something as a gift to yourself. So And Christian, we'll get to your super chat in just a second as soon as Samuel gets back. But yeah. Me, no other, says Trekyards. Supposedly, the man in the lounge chair in front of the door is the original concept for the Guardian of Forever. Wow, that's interesting. I did not know that. Did you hear that on the Ready Room? Because that's an interesting fact, actually.
I'm back.
Oh my God, he's back. I was just reading. Me, no other, said supposedly the old man in the lounge chair in front of the door was originally the original concept for the Guardian of Forever. So that's an interesting piece of
from any time I've heard about the Harlan Ellison, because that the whole storyline was massively absurdly different.
Yes,
there were giants, etc.
Yeah, I've got the graphic novel of it, and it's really impressive. It would have made a much better story.
Just out of their budget range.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But it does look cool, so
that's why it's hard. That's why it's hard for the writer, because he's credited with the most popular episode of TOS, but he didn't write it. Like, they rewrote a thing he gave them, and they rewrote most of it, and it's barely what it was. And yet I can imagine going to cons and stuff, because he did go to cons and be credited. It's like maybe 10% of it, 20% of it. Like, I wrote a better story. But the thing is, that one's so good. It's so simple and good, though. It's not convoluted, etc. And the other one's meant to be bigger and convoluted.
So is the original one. I mean, like I said, I got the graphic novel, and it's very interesting, the differences between them, because they are remarkably not alike.
Yeah.
But they're both good. I mean, they're
oh yeah.
I'm not taking anything away from the original, but Christian Montgomery though throws in a $5 super chat. Yes. Thank you very much, Christian. Good way to get us started. I think Carl is a guardian. Zora knows of their existence and can communicate with them. That is why Carl was expecting them. I disagree that Zora knows or can communicate with them.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, the Guardian knows that there's something in orbit. It's smart enough to know that. If it's a Q, if it's a powerful entity, if it is a Guardian of Forever. And I keep saying a Guardian of Forever, and people are like, whoa, you think there's more than one? Yes, absolutely. This is on the far edge of the Gamma Quadrant.
Yeah, that's a daft comment. It's like, what, do you think the Guardian moved?
Yeah. Well, no, just the planets changed. No, because this is in the Gamma Quadrant. The original Enterprise.
Yeah, the edge of the...
it was never in the Gamma Quadrant.
And we saw that planet, and it was a ruin of their planet. Like, you saw the whole thing of this vibe. I mean, you can see in this, obviously, this is Discovery, they reboot things, but it wasn't in the middle of a grassy field of snow on. It was in the middle of a little mountain and such. So, yeah, clearly not the same, and Stuart's... Oh, he's just muted. It's an absurdity to say it's the same. I mean, the thing is, remember, the Guardian of Forever was a portal created by an alien race. It was man-made in the sense of alien-made. So why couldn't they build another one? Just different,
Yeah, I think there was probably a few, and maybe the one that they run into in TOS is damaged. That's why it's got that shape. Because I like the idea of, like, reading your thoughts and kind of coming up with something that, to interact with you. And that's why Carl in the door shows up.
The chameleon circuit.
Yeah, exactly. Chameleon circuit. Yeah, exactly the thing. So
but
I like that.
If you have enough people with us, which my live tracking thing is going a bit skewy. Don't know if it's for you as well on your end.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Sure.
But I do want to hear, so I'll go back to the normal then. I want to hear, though, from you guys, if you think that the reveal, if it even needs to be a reveal, it might just be, as in TOS, we just get cosmic entities, etc. Put in the chat now, if you do think, overall, like, if your gut says that this situation is Q-based, it's another Guardian of Forever or other. Right? So Q, Guardian, other. One word. I want to see where the gut...
Spam the chat, guys.
Yes.
195 of you watching, which is great. 100 likes, which is also great, but I think we can get 150. So if you haven't hit that like button, hit the like button. Carl83, or Jill as we know her, puts in $1 with a winky face. Thank you very much, Jill. Very much appreciated.
That was pretty cheeky.
All right, so let's see. Q, Guardian, Guardian, Q, Guardian, Q, Guardian, Guardian, Q, Guardian, other, Guardian of Forever, Q, other, Guardian, other. Wow. It's pretty much...
a bit more one-sided, yeah.
Well, it's not really one-sided. I mean, there's a lot of Q, there's a lot of others, there's like a good mix, Trelane, Well, yeah.
Well, yeah,
Uh,
if they were going Q, I would go. I would say they would
yeah.
go Trelane route and kind of make that more canony.
Because we both pointed out that it feels way TOS with the old door and the old the
Yeah.
old timey guys. So I really like that aspect of it.
And to
So
be honest, I wouldn't even be against this literally being Trelane, and he's just
yeah,
grown up.
great and
He
moved.
he mellowed. He just mellowed. You know.
Yeah.
You know, his old age. He went from a 1700s, who the hell knows, frock coat, whatever, to a 1800s bowler hat thing.
Well, Ozzy thinks it's Badgie. I mean, it could be Badgie. No, it couldn't.
I mean, that would be a pretty amazing.
Maybe Badgie infected Peanut Hamper, and it's both of them together.
I mean, it has been 450, 500 years. So I mean, if Control can become sentient in less time than that, I mean, why can't it be Badgie? Became sentient.
Exactly. Jeff Jacobs, $2. Woot woot, 100 already. Hashtag make Jeff pay. Yes.
Ollie missed Tenchies.
Tenchi 2K7. Me, no other. He kind of reminded me of an Anubis in Stargate
Anubis.
SG1.
Yes, there's absurd parallels to that scene, but I mean, hey, narrative device, and that's okay. That's okay. It's okay. Yeah, sorry about the live game bits. For us, not for you guys, but keep saying hey and keep chatting, etc. But I'll bring up a picture of Carl, which I did prep. See, it's interesting because there is if you take away the newspaper, right?
Yeah.
The vibe is unique. I wouldn't say he would fit into any of the categories just by himself, necessarily. That said, as I mentioned previously, there are several Qs we see, and they are not all the same personality. So, Suicide Q is not the same as Delancey Q, and so this could just be a more chill version. Or, as we've seen to us, lots of different all-powerful beings. I mean, for all the hell we know, it could be an Organian,
Yep. Or a Metron. I mean,
Andromedan.
Metron's from Arena. Yeah, I could. That's the thing. The universe and the galaxy is a big place, so
Yep.
I'm fine if it's neither a Guardian or a Q. However, with them tying in the newspaper to be the same newspaper, that's just it's
bit strong. And since they're not always the best with references, they made an effort there. It's like they made an effort there.
Yeah.
But it's definitely possible that he's just an advanced being. Something as simple as just another advanced being. We do see several in, I mean, hey, and I actually forgot this one, but the episode in TNG where, that old guy with the one house on the planet, he genocided a species.
Yep.
He was a god being, They do still exist in TNG, and Caretaker is pretty powerful in Voyager, etc. So, they could just be TOSing, The fact is, we as the Federation didn't get to the gamma that edge of the gamma quadrant in TNG or Voyager or DS9 or whatever, and so this could just be another one-off life form in a part of the galaxy we, as the people from TNG before, had not met yet.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. No, I have no problem with it being somebody new, but I think they've kind of pointed us in a direction, and I think my vote is for a Guardian type being. Not the Guardian of Forever, but a Guardian of Forever. Or even of not Forever necessarily. Like the Guardian of Forever was a time gate. This could be an interdimensional something gate. Like it could be something different. So I have no problem with that. But I think there would be multiple ones of the Guardians of Forever. So I do like that idea, and the fact that the chameleon circuit is still active on this one, so it can present itself as it wants to. But
yeah, it's definitely tricky because there are other things on that newspaper that aren't obviously just Guardian. They're actually TNG references. And it implies a knowledge of. I think if they wanted to be more linking to Guardian, they would have, and again they did. But I mean, if they wanted to be more, I would have had them show more of the newspaper and actually have it linked to some of the things we saw the first time around TOS, like because I remember they were cycling through time up until Edith Keeler. I'd have had some they had a rocket launch, etc. Some of those famous world events from Earth kind of double back in this one, as if that's kind of like part of the brochure you show people, rather than having all post TNG. But obviously, you said it's a dimension gate, but it was a time gate because she went back to the past of the mirror universe. So
Yeah.
it's still exact same thing. And if we
Yeah.
take, although we don't know the Guardian can move between universes, it can move between alternate universes, but not parallel universes. The distinction being the mirror universe is clearly not a divergent of our universe, unless it was like primitive man. They got more aggressive because
Yeah.
it's too different. I doubt Abraham Lincoln was just as nice, and his children for some reason were evil. It's like that's not really how that. So it's a parallel development, alternate universe or parallel rather than one decision made it swap out. But it's a hard one, that one.
Yeah. Christian Montgomery, $2. Could Zora core data be a guardian? Ooh, that's interesting. Like the information of sorting through space was just one of these beings that hadn't settled down. That's interesting. I don't know if I buy that though. But we need more information on Zora. We need more, because we've seen a little bit of her in this one where she does the movie night thing for the crew, and it wasn't really her interacting so much as just Dr. Kolber basically using the sphere data to find a solution to the problem. That's a very interesting idea, though. I like that, Christian. Carl 83, $2. Did the Tacon Empire make the Guardians of Forever? That's another great question. And the Tacon Empire, guys, is from the last Outpost TNG season 1 episode, and that's referenced on this paper specifically. The other thing that bothers me, though, is because it's such a nail on the head with the Daily Dispatch, the paper name, and also the 21st Street mission on the back. Mm-hmm. It's like such a blatant, obvious thing,
You can't get more.
No, unless you have Kirk and Spock in front of the 21st Street mission.
Or Keeler herself. Yeah, exactly. It's basically his absolute most... Which is, but that's the thing, though. It is a very weird... Like, using the Guardian Forever is tricky in many, many ways. Because I feel like if this is a different one, or if this could be, the Gamma Quadrant one, maybe there's one in every quadrant because #YOLO, and then they got killed, which is fine. But if they introduce this, I feel like they would need to give us a reason why no one ever saw the original Guardian again. Even if in this episode, I don't know how they're going to bring her back in the scene, into the present. But even if he's like, was this, he says, was this useful? My brother could have done it, but he's been out of commission for 830 years. Saying once he was in TOS, he sort of deactivated whatever. Like you get something like that. That'd be kind of interesting. But it's like if they're gonna use a Guardian, use the original Guardian. Although obviously the imagery would be too obvious because this is obviously different.
If it is another Guardian, though, I can see them being like all linked together, so they all, and this is the only other interaction that a Guardian has had with humans, so that's the tie-in for the paper and things like that, because it's like, oh, humans are here. Have we met humans before? Yes, and I even the long before your sun burned bright in the sky, I've awaited a question, shows how old the Guardian is. Like, it's been around for a long time. I can't remember how long the Tacon Empire.
Way less
long ago. Yeah, well, how long ago it perished? I mean, it's said in that episode last
like millions
Outpost,
of years. But it was like that level. Like it's an ancient empire, but I always get since Guardian was one of the first.
Yeah. Oh man.
The thing is, again, to show the Guardian, if it is, be so different. The first one was a ring that chatted in riddles. This is a full-on guy. Like it feels a bit not forced because it's created new stuff, but it's so radically different, and yet obviously slightly symbolically similar. Maybe I don't know, because obviously you wouldn't want to, or maybe the payoff would be at the end when they beam away, it like reverts back to the Guardian shape, because now it's not got that. I think would work well.
That'd be cool.
And then you get a voice, kind of like remember we had in Lower Decks, the voice had to play the computer on the planet again, and it was pretty close. they could have someone try and be the Guardian voice and say, "Wow, that was close," or they, they didn't see my truth. Like that could be a fun payoff. But obviously, knowing them, they'd completely reboot the look and make it a square or something. A square shiny thing that glows purple is like,
Yeah. Another suggestion that was kind of brought up in one of the comments was it might be related to Q and the Guardians. Could it be that Q, before they evolved to the point where they were, actually built these gates as a way to access these other dimensions and times that they were starting to understand better, and then once they built these, and then they evolved even more beyond their corporeal form and didn't need them anymore. Like that would be an interesting take as well, because I like the idea of it being a Q, because I mean the Qs are just, that's what they do. That's the kind of
there's also
thing.
a different take on the Q. It's not just Q again,
Yes. So yeah, I don't know. Okay, you guys have kind of voted what you think it is. Is that what you think they're going for, or is that what you hope for? Because there's a difference there.
Yes.
Like I said, I think it might be Q related, but I'm hoping for a Guardian link. I would love to have, as this just another Guardian gate would be awesome. With some kind of explanation as to what's going on.
And like you said, it could be both, because I mean, I both do and don't mind the idea of Qs being the ones that made the Guardians. They would make them ancient enough, and because we're only looking at them through our eyes. Although we do see what Q looks like without the Q. It's a glowing orb with ears,
with cobra heads.
Yeah, that. Yeah. But it's still like our interpretation. So we're a godlike being. It's kind of
anamorphous. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Both a fail. There we go. But so obviously now, as I said in a previous video, this isn't we stumbled upon something. This isn't happy accident. This is all of Starfleet history had no way of saving anyone. Well, and then Georgiou. It took any lost data and also just the sphere data, and not just that, but its way of extrapolating, interpolating, thinking outside the box, because an AI can only get so smart potentially, but a sort of a living computer, a living energy is different, obviously, whatever there. So it was able to realize this, and it might just be because it extrapolated the odds. It might have been to just had this great idea, and it would be kind of interesting actually if they were double dipped. It's not a Guardian Forever, but it's a smaller door built by the same empire. It is actually a door, but it's like a mini gateway that was built on several planets as like tests. This could be, this is kind of fun. This is one of the tests for the Guardian. Simple. And the Q is the one that's actually the journey. Like they wouldn't know how to use it without him, because it's not, maybe the thing wasn't even working properly. Because the door and him aren't from the same era. They don't necessarily feel like the same art design. Like it had a unique vibe that wasn't just limited to 1980s England. It was close, but it could still be something else. So it'd be kind of interesting if the Q is intrigued by the lower planes, as we see many Qs are, and he's there to kind of have fun with it and be a helper, the journey, the guide to have Georgiou actually go through, because maybe the Guardian wasn't active or didn't know how to use it properly, in the sense they wouldn't, and then he's able to kind of put in the right direction.
Yeah.
Because
Doug Van Dorn says Carl is Lorca backwards, sorta. I could kind of see that.
Lorca. I mean, to be fair though, let's talk about that for a second. He went to the mycelial network and died. That's mirror Lorca, to be fair. So what if this is mirror Lorca from the mycelial network that's powering a gate to allow Georgiou to go back in time? And as soon as it's done, Lorca is not dead anymore, and then he gets a retake of the galaxy. Way!
Wow. Yes. 296 people here. It's awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Almost 300. 140 likes.
Oh, excellent.
There's an imbalance in the force there. Let's get those likes up. We can probably hit 200, 250. Hit that like button if you haven't already. By all means, put your thoughts in the chat or super chat us a theory or idea you want us to discuss. We just want to have a good conversation here and hang out with you guys. So please feel free to contribute.
Yes. And Dan says, "Is it ever stated that the two Lorcas actually swapped places?" Yes, because they beamed at the same time in a nebula that's transphasicness. You always swap places in the sense of it happened twice. And the other times you have to go through a different thing. But yes, it was... I mean, we have no proof per se, but that's how that situation worked. Two Barans, two Lorcas, two anomalies, two nebulas, swap, dead, boom, blowy uppy.
Yeah. Jarrett Levine, I like the Q plus Guardian theory because it would give a great way of explaining how the Guardian gate door is there. Q could either move it or would know where more are. Yes. I do like the idea of there being multiple Guardian of Forever gates. I think that's a great idea, like a network of them. Not too many, obviously, but that'd be kind of neat. Another thing that was thrown out. Who was it that threw it? I can't remember who suggested it to me, but wormhole aliens. Oh, my buddy Aaron, said wormhole aliens because it was in the Gamma Quadrant. I'm like, that's kind of no. It doesn't present at all like a prophet vision.
Way too helpful.
Yes, and it's also not taking on the form of people in environments that you realize, also, that are changing between.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I was always... I mean, obviously there's lots of times they appear, but almost every single time when the wormhole aliens appeared, I'm annoyed by their obnoxiousness, and I don't have fun watching them. The scenes are interesting. Yeah. They are not interesting to watch. He was fun to watch. So, by that alone, no, sir.
Olivia Julius, $20 super chat. Thank you so much, Olivia.
That does help.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Overlord of Pugland, Dominius of Kronos, Regina Andor, such Gravius, Onus Slayer of Klingons, Daughter of Rome, Empress of our mighty empire, Empress Olivia May Julius. Well, that's quite an entrance.
It is.
Yes. Jeff Jacobs, $2.
Thank you.
150 onward to 200 and beyond. Hashtag make Jeff pay. And Karen W puts in $3 with a fist bump, little pear guy thing.
The pears are awesome. Okay, so I have a direct counter for the Guardian ness, which I think is interesting.
Go for it.
There's something going on there, Stuart.
Not at all.
Is there lack of something going on there, Stuart? Which in itself is something.
Negative.
So,
anyways, what's your counter?
Okay. Now, obviously, we've gone through the pretty hardcore evidence. There is some link, but in the TOS era, which as we know is slightly after Discovery Tech, but they're using 32nd century technology to scan, which we assume would be massively better. In TOS, they were able to fully scan a Guardian, detect its temporal signature, and from orbit, and it wasn't like making waves, and it was a whole thing. They absolutely detected it, and Spock actually worked out what it was based on scans. In this episode, using a massive, immeasurably more advanced technology, they scan nothing. It doesn't give off any readings, which completely goes against it being a Guardian of Forever. That disparity is ginormous, which gives you more of a sense that it could be Q, who's showing a door as a physical representation of walk through a door you're choosing, and now you're going sort of into my powers. That's different, and
But those time waves that you're talking about that kind of attracted their attention, it's almost like the Guardian was either malfunctioning, or sick or dying, whatever, or just reaching out to it detected them and wanted them to notice it. With this Discovery just spore jumping in, it could have been like, I don't know. That's interesting because we kind of wrote a little thing in Universe about the Guardian of Forever, you and I. But so anywho, Dreamer out there, $2.
Thank
you. Ascended Anubis from the end of Stargate 1, Season 8.
Yes. But you know what I mean? It's like it's that does already, like you could say yes, is a functioning gate, but then you're kind of also dismissing the TOS one as being, oh, it's just a broken one on their home world. It's like the impetus is this is the only thing that's left of their civilization. You know?
And Neomix says, "What are the shapes on the door?" We looked at those. They look like preserver obelisks,
A
the
little
same
bit,
kind
yeah.
of shape, or a Tholian ship, one or
Yeah.
the other.
They're triangles with lines.
Yeah. We thought we'd maybe find something there, but I mean, preserver obelisk is interesting. It could show how old this is,
Mm.
because the preservers were a long time ago.
Mm.
So
Well, and actually another thing to back it up again, the original Guardian clearly just sort of stuck there. This thing and dude appeared out of nowhere. These are not things a Guardian did or could do. These are things Q did, could do, would do.
but it
Yeah.
could be that the Guardian TOS, like you saw the rubble around it, like the planet was bombed or whatever, they destroyed themselves. Could be that it was literally damaged, and that's just how its appearance. But if it's fully active, it can hide itself, or cloak its existence, or there's a lot of, and that's why it also presents as whatever it feels like.
But it's definitely a. Oh, again.
And circuit, I guess.
I mean, but would you want that as a massive, massive additional retcon to the original one? Like kind of taking it and adding a whole more
Yes,
levels? Okay.
I think so, because of all the rubble and ruins around the first one, and it didn't look pretty. I mean, who would have built that in that shape? Like it seems weird.
The
But that's
giants,
just,
Stuart. The giants.
yes, I know this. And yeah. Do
Their,
you know what I
their
mean?
thumbs
Like,
go back in time every weekend.
me no other says could be Captain Cisco Prophet. No.
He's not sassy.
Just
enough.
say it's a Q, says Karshep.
Thing is, I also like the TARDIS idea basically, but something about that again feels a bit like a cop out. It's like let's redesign on top of this old thing, massive untold coolness for our own show, but then it still doesn't answer the
That's
changing.
what they would do, though.
But they've been better this season, you know.
True.
And they've actually been restrained. I mean, what do they do to Trill? They made it destabilized but still stable. Romulus and Vulcan actually done quite well. Like, they've actually kept a leash on their own, weird things.
Dan23 says it could be connected to the wormhole aliens. There is a Bajoran symbols or writing on the newspaper. That is true, because there's Bajoran text as well as Vulcan text, though. So
And also Klingon winning tournament. It's a hodgepodge. Yeah. The only thing is the two direct Guardian references. Mm-hmm. But I mean, they could be just a good red herring. I mean, this show.
Yeah.
This is why a week-to-week show is actually better than a binge show, because this allows a massive discussion. They get lots more people talking about it. How many clickbait articles, how many real articles, etc. If it was just released, like there was a show that was it Expanse season 5 that was just or 4 that was just released, and then people watched it and then didn't talk about it because they watched it and were done. It's like, oh yeah. No, it was The Witcher. The Witcher season 1 came out, everyone loved it, and then about 4 weeks later, no one talked about it because they'd watched it and done. Like, it was amazing.
Yeah.
We watched it.
Waiting for season 2.
Yeah, that's it. All of the buzz was gone, even though this creates a lot of continual buzz.
Christian says, I truly believe Zora and Carl are entities we call guardians. So yeah, I would be fine with that. I like the idea that the sphere data might be connected to this somehow. Like it was one that decided not to settle on a planet. It was one of the wandering ones. And maybe that's why, I don't know.
But then you're also basically saying that Zora's, discovery has got unlimited travel, unlimited speed, unlimited weapons, and a unlimited time and space entity computer in its computer core. Because that also devalues Calypso, which said it took 1,000 years to become sentient.
Yeah, I know.
That was the whole thing. There wasn't sphere data that made it sentient. Now, that's why Zora doesn't work so well in this season, because it's already sentient, clearly, which devalues that Calypso a bit.
I think there might be conflicting, the computer merging with the sphere data. There might be the sphere data either takes the place of the computer or vice versa, as we've seen, because the computer was switching between Zora and the computer. Could be that the 1,000 years was give it time to merge with the computer as a single sentience.
But it's so much more clever. Why would you want to do that?
I don't know, but I can see them doing that though, like to differentiate.
That's a bit of a retcon, though. I mean, the whole thing has to be retcon. Like, they hadn't written this by the time they wrote season the short, so this wasn't, you know. I don't know. It's also weird to say because to know this planet, the sphere data would have to have flown past this planet.
Which I would buy. I mean, not sure how far it's traveled or
far. I mean,
well,
you know,
yeah,
very far.
It could have also gone through an anomaly and not been from this part of the galaxy. Like it was originally started in the Gamma Quadrant, roamed around, and then got sucked through into.
It's such a nebulous MacGuffin like time crystal. It's like, who cares?
Yes. Well, exactly. Yeah.
It can solve any problem because it's the sphere data.
Yeah. Dreamer out there, $5. Cisco wouldn't take sass from Burnham. Cisco hears something he doesn't like, he will instantly correct you. Not Cisco. Yeah, it's definitely not Cisco. Captain Kurt, great name. Throws in $20. Thank you very much. If it is Q, why would it be limited to the specific planet? Guardian or something like a Guardian makes more sense, or something left over from the Q civilization's pre-ascension, perhaps. Well, that could be exactly why it's this planet, because this is one Q that decided to sit still, or this is their strongest, can access the whatever. I don't know. There's always explanations for those kind of things, but yeah, that's the thing. Q, we've been able to do pretty much anything, go anywhere. So,
but I mean, you might like certain places, as you just pointed out. You know, these beings, things we can't judge all Qs by the same brush. Like I said, one wanted to commit suicide, so they might like a planet especially for whatever reason. That's okay. And so if you go by his planet, you know, and besides, maybe, you know, this sphere data, you know, the Q's interacted with it to play with it or to, you know, torture it or whatever. And as a calling card, it said, if you ever need me, go to this planet and I'll help you out, babe. Oh, Zora, future Zora. You
know? Yeah. Dreamer out there, $2.
Thank you.
They're in the Gamma Quadrant. Carl could be a changeling. No. I don't.
They're on the edge of the Gamma Quadrant, and why would he be a changeling? Also,
yeah. We also don't know which edge of the Gamma Quadrant, the one closest to us, the one farthest from us. It was never clarified, but yeah.
Although James Williams says Carl really did send Georgiou back in time, which didn't damage her original timeline, but did create a new quantum reality branch, just like in TNG Parallels. So Georgiou is in real peril. Thoughts?
I would be fine with that as long as that's explained, because the fact that there's already been differences in the mirror universe because of her going back. I really do think though it's a test. It's just a Tapestry type deal where it's like she literally walked through the door and all that happens in like a second. So I'm fine with it either way as long as it's explained properly.
But the problem with that, James, is that now you've got two mirror universes, right? Officially two mirror universes. Well, yeah, but you know, you've then got I mean, this is the thing. You've got, you know, that graph which shows prime, Kelvin. You then have mirror and then alternate mirror. And at that point, if you can just, if that is how time travel works, but if you can do that, at that point, just say discoveries and prime, because clearly the art design doesn't work, the technology doesn't work. Just say someone back and create an alternate time variant, and this is that universe. Like, once you've said that, once mirror can be multiple versions, like, instantly I think discovery is then no longer the original prime, because why would it be? And just by the very logic, honestly, just the very logic of then Enterprise clearly did that, because you've now just answered the argument that Daniels created a side universe. As soon as the Enterprise E went back in time and dealt with in First Contact, it didn't change time, it created a new timeline, which was created the Discovery timeline. Like, you just basically told us that Discovery isn't the prime timeline, it's which we've said before. But once you do that, you open up these doorways to, well, now logically speaking, if it's just creating alternate timelines, well, this isn't the prime timeline. It obviously isn't, you know, which would make sense, you know? But I still don't feel like she's in peril, though, because she's not going to stay there, and she's not going to die, so there's no peril, you know? And what's the point of having... And we would have cut back, if she wasn't going to come back and she was in peril, we would have cut back to Carl saying, all right, you can go now, and she'd beam up. The fact that we've paused on that storyline means she's going to go back. She's going to be. There's no
Yeah.
time has passed. It'll have been a test. Like the way they formatted it is a special being sent her back to help her. But they didn't say she didn't say bye to Burnham. You know, the whole point of the story is for her to appreciate what she's got, not to actually do anything in the past. That's not the formatting of the episode. You know, so it doesn't work for that context.
Me no other. Trekyards. I created headcanon where Stargate and this is a Star Trek prequel. Actor who played Q in TNG is in the episode of Stargate with Q-like beings.
Is he? I think he is. Which Q-like beings?
I'm not sure.
I've seen all Stargate, and I don't think he is.
William 5000 Forever puts in $2.
Wow,
could
cool
it
name.
be? Could it be one from Trelane species from TOS? Yeah, that's one we speculated as well. They have tied Trelane in with the Q though in some novels, but it's obviously they're novels. They're side canon. They're beta canon. But I have no problem with him being a Q, or just another omnipotent. You know, how many omnipotent species could there be? A few probably. So.
And personally, I think this would be brilliant if it was just Trelane. Like, that would be such a weird, nice reference. Like, it's just Trelane grown up. You know, his parents have put him on helping. Like, yeah, wouldn't that be kind of fun? Because Trelane was locked to a planet. Remember that? He was stuck there.
Yes.
And so.
That's because he was a kid. It's like his playpen.
Yeah.
They have this planet.
So seriously, how fun would this be? And this would be a very lower deck style reference, but he's a teenage, you know, Trelane, like a late teenage, and this is his what do you call it, a community service in exchange for some stuff he did in his teenage years, and so he has to be on this planet for like, you know.
He created the burn, so he's getting punished for it.
Well, hey,
this is his jail.
But wouldn't that be kind of great? It's like, so you know, she thanks him at the end, is like, is your name really Carl? Nah, it's Trelane. That means nothing to me. Okay then, fine, be like that, Georgiou. And then like says her middle name. She's like, shut up, it's not, you know, Bethany. It's not a scary middle name. Because that I think would be really fun, and that would fit beautifully with TOS. Like, he's just doing like his, you know, or he's doing like his work experience in his 20s, you know, as a Trelane entity. You know? And it still wouldn't even say he's not Q. That's the nice thing. That wouldn't take him away from that, you know?
No, see, I kind of like the Trelane's linked with Q.
Me too. Me too.
So, yeah. Olivia Julius though throws in $100 super
Oy.
chat. So thank you, Olivia.
Definitely helps.
This is the season. Yes, this is the season for giving. Thank you. Standard issue socks are hung by the replicator with care. Klingons have decked the enemy's hull with photon torpedoes.
Oh gosh.
And Stamets is singing "Oh Spore Drive, Oh Spore Drive, how lovely is your spores." Merry Christmas from Olivia. Well, thank you very much, Olivia. Merry Christmas to you as well, and all of you out there.
Merry Christmas.
That is awesome. Thank you.
And for those who don't celebrate Christmas, just enjoy a day off.
Yes.
Please take a day off. I know I will.
DX2069.
Well, actually, I say that, but I'm cooking for everyone, so I guess I'm not technically.
DX2069 has joined the channel at the rank of Admiral, so welcome, Admiral.
God.
Good to see you. Admiral,
outranking me again. It's not that hard.
Both of us. Yeah. Raverbane, $5. Might be just a genetic super race guy like Kevin Uxbridge from TNG. Yeah. And if that's the case, that's the guy you were talking about earlier that killed all the Husek. Yeah, because he had said he traveled and finally settled down with this lady, and you know, but he's old. He's very, very old race. So yeah, I would buy that as well. I mean, I'm fine with that. But see, like I said, the newspaper and the references on it really kind of hit the nail on the head and really link it to Guardian, which I can understand the Q maybe, you know, knowing about or whatever. So, yeah. And Karen W throws in $5.
Thank you.
The man from Section 31 is a Q. Which man?
Man with glasses.
Leland? Oh, Cronenberg.
Yes.
Kovac.
Kunenberg.
Very much disagree with that, but yeah. You know what's going to happen? Here, I figured it out.
Guys, ready?
This is it.
Mike
Georgiou
is waiting to be dropped.
Right. Georgiou went back in time to the mirror universe, and she's of course got all these. She doesn't agree with what's going on there now because she's used to, the good in people, and she sees how evil Michael Burnham is and how bad the universe is. So she's going to create a Section 31 in the mirror universe. That's going to be the Section 31 show, where instead of doing bad, evil things, they do good things to make the universe a better place. And be called 31 Section because it's backwards.
Yep.
No.
All right, we'll see you. We'll see you next year for season 4. He's worked it out. I mean, why even bother watching more? To be honest, I think you've got it. I think, guys, super chat if you think that's what's going to happen.
No, it's not. Oh. It would be a good twist, though, as Brian says. Yes.
No, Stuart. It'd be what a twist.
Section 13. Yeah, Section 13. That's it. Yeah. Sorry, that kind of sidelined everything.
That's okay. That's okay. But we can talk about Georgiou a little bit as well. The whole going back in time nurse. See, I fundamentally, when I watch this episode, I get Tapestry vibes. How it's presented, the white of the snow to the white of the environment that Q took Picard, the tone of obviously he was a friend of the guy. He's more you make your own choice. And since Q's power is kind of whatever the story wants it to be, the idea of seeing, even if because Q can make a new universe because Tapestry wasn't in. I mean, okay, you could argue it was, but for me, Tapestry wasn't him changing the universe. It was him allowing Picard to exist in an alternate universe, which he then undid, or it kept existing at that point. But it was very literal. It wasn't a figment. It was a real universe-bending event.
We've compared it to Christmas Carol with seeing the past and seeing, which really was just shades of things that have happened before. They couldn't interact with them or anything. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that again in case anybody had forgotten about that.
And
it's Christmas time. The next one, 24th.
And Sean says, "Is there a mirror universe?" Yes. It's our universe. That's what she said. You're our mirror.
Yes.
Which is a fun reference. We are mirror universe in their universe. You're too good. Ooh. The good universe. Ooh. You don't kill your children if they suck at math. Ooh. But yeah, Tapestry for me makes most sense because it was one of the best episodes of TNG. It allows them to do whatever the hell they want and undo it. I have no problem with the idea of her taking the armband through because it's a way of her feeling as if she's grounded, because Georgiou's sometimes a smart person, and if you went through without the armband, I could see her spending a few minutes of the storyline saying, "Is this even real?" But they skip through that instantly, because
321 people here, which is fantastic. Everybody, make sure you're subscribed to the channel.
You know what's going to
happen?
We're
only at 198 likes. Hold on.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? Hit like. Get to 200, at least 250, maybe even 300. Guys, if you haven't hit like. It's possible. Let's go. Hit like. Okay, what's going to happen?
And this obviously, I'll probably bring this up again tomorrow. I think the armband is just there for an imagery thing where Georgiou is going to go through this episode, do everything right, and still get killed. Kind of like how Hoshi kills Archer somewhat randomly, like left turn at the end of Enterprise. It's like, oh, okay, that's a bit sad. I think she's gonna get stabbed by a Roshicum, like that sort. Well, it just might be by a Roshicum. That'd be an easy way of referencing. And then you'll see the thing go from green to red, and then suddenly it'll fade into her on the snow lying down, and then they're gonna look over and say, "So how'd it go?" And then it'll pop off her and it'll be fine. I think we'll have you said she has to die in one universe. It's more symbolic, but just that is you could not survive there. Stop wishing you could go back like that. You could not do even with knowing all the information and whoever everyone's going to do. You couldn't make this work, Georgiou. You just couldn't. So appreciate what you've got. I think that's why it's there, just for that visual.
That's exactly what's going to happen. It's going to turn. She's going to get stabbed. Something turned red. She's going to fall, and then it's going to be literally Burnham coming up to her.
Yes.
She just literally walked through the doorway and fell down. And it's going to be like, what happened? Are you okay?
Yeah.
And yeah, I like that because I've been calling that from the beginning. That it's going to be an instant walking through that gateway.
Yeah, and not just that. Yes, it'll be a Roshcom that stabs her, who will be symbolic of your actions towards Burnham to try as a mirror Burnham, Georgiou, to try and keep her on side, or make a Roshcom, who's clearly your most loyal servant. If she stabs you, you know you're fucked up. So that's what's gonna happen. She's gonna stab her, and then we're gonna see her fall, but they're gonna be on like a shiny metal, clear, crystally surface, which will be then the snow. It'll go straight to her face as she's like, and then you'll hear Burnham's voice saying, "Georgiou, are you okay?" But it'll be more confused than like and I'll cut to her, and it'll be
and Carl, yeah, and Carl will say some words of wisdom like, doesn't matter.
I told you it was dangerous.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Or have you got the right question now?
Yeah.
It's like, should I go back? The answer is no. Hey, you got it in one. So I think that simple visual will be the end of that.
Yeah. Although the reveal is going to be that she has to go back in time, at least to her own time or close to it. Yes. So she's got to go back in the prime timeline.
Yeah.
So that's what's going to facilitate that.
Yeah. So it's not so much. It's not a doorway. It's not a literal, which we've been saying, not literal doorway through time and space. It's the making her appreciate that actually no, she is no longer who she was. She can live in this universe, but yeah, she has to go. The only way to save her is to go back, and she obviously. I mean, she lived in our universe for a year without any problem, 2 years without any problems. So she can, because the universe is together, and that's fine.
She's not sick and decompiling now because she died in her universe. So now everything's reset as far as her being in this universe. It's tied. She's tied to this reality now. So
I would still have that be like a time sensitive thing. Like, I've managed to stabilize you for 6 months. You have to go back to be permanent. Yeah. But now I've like the way you've been reset a little bit. I mean, obviously Q could make her fine, so that's kind of the logic of it would or won't.
Yeah.
But if she has to go back in time, then obviously, I think that would make like you will die still, but not today.
Maybe she needs to be made fine by a Q from the mirror universe. Wonder what they're like. Probably nice and playful and not dicks.
Or the Terrans killed them at one point. Because they were too nice.
Yeah. Mud Tactics, though, made a funny comment.
Yep.
Super chats remind me of the Monty Python skit where you paid to have an argument. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's exactly what they are. Jeff Jacobs, $2, 200. Now on to 3. If you didn't blue it, you didn't do it. So yeah, make the like button blue. Guys, 323 of you. We're at 224 likes. We can hit 250 easily. So if you're having it hit the like button, guys. Let's go. Hit like.
But I do want to do another poll.
I'm gonna go hit like just so that I can say that I hit like.
Do it. Yeah. But I do want to hear though, guys, because we got double pill as my last time. Again, in the comments or in the live chat, put in, do you think, and obviously we argued all different points already today, do you think it's a Q or a variation of a Q, so a Trelane, etc., the Guardian of Forever, both, or other? Okay? So Guardian...
Well, now there's more choices.
Guardian, Q, both, or other, right? Just gut reaction, because like I said, doubles many people.
Yeah.
So if you've already voted, please vote again. We'll get a sense of numbers.
And I'm hitting like right now, so I'm 238. There, I hit it. Got 5 dislikes though, but that's cool. Thank you for the dislikes because they help. Blink
says it might be the Traveler or a Traveler species.
Ooh,
that could be interesting. I mean, they travel, but maybe Zora knew where. And then it's not so much because I mean the Traveler could travel through, knowing the universe, like being part of it. So. Showing her a vision of the universe, her other, again, not literal time travel, but yeah.
So we got Guardian, both Wesley, other Wes, Guardian Q, Carl, Norman's got it. It's Carl. That's the answer. Guardian adjacent, Guardian, other Q, both, Goff. Just Guardian of Forever, of course. I already told you I'm Carl. He vanishes. Guardian, other Guardian.
Well, this is more split.
Yeah, it's interesting actually.
Oh, Charlie X.
Ooh.
Now see that if he'd said I'm not Carl, I'm Charlie, like when they saw it, that would have been, or I'm Charles, call me Charles. That would have been fun.
Ooh. That would have been good.
That
Yeah.
would have been. Also, you're out of focus, but that would have been.
It's okay. People like me out of focus. I look better. It's like that haze filter on TOS. Real. No. Yes. Yeah.
Guinan species? No, they weren't superpowered as far as we knew.
It's the guy from Time Tunnel. Bajoran Prophet, maybe Trelane. Wonder if it could be Kess. Oh. Paul Wraith.
I mean, it depends how much we're thinking through versus them, because it could just be. I mean, it could be as simple as just an alien and just showing her a vision. I mean, it could be that simple, you know. So, I mean, there's no reason to assume, you know, all it has to have is trickery, like the Nox. You know, I can create a vision, I can create trickery. That's all it needs to be, in a sense.
Jeff Jacobs, $2. 200. Oh, I read that one already. Never mind. I thought I had a new super chat. I was all excited. Boo. Justin Hampton says Gary 7 agent. See, I like that because Gary 7 was raised on another planet and given all these powers. And yeah, that would be interesting if it tied into that somehow. But like I said, the newspaper with the 21st Street mission and just, you know, it's with the same banner. It's just too on the nose. It's like
it could not be more on the nose.
Yes, or literally have a picture of the Guardian of Forever saying,
"Welcome back, guys. It's been 750 episodes of Star Trek. What? Nothing."
Hearst Magus, $2. Same shtick as the Picard fake heart episode. So Q. So yeah, you're thinking like a Tapestry Q thing. Yeah.
It's just a good MacGuffin that way around.
Mr. Captain 93, Monsters Incorporated. Yeah, it's one of the doors.
Yeah.
And to be fair, kid's bedroom.
And to be fair though, Picard was dying, not dead, and Georgiou is dying, not dead.
Exactly. Yes.
So you know, if it's a you know, flash before your eyes sort of thing.
Jarrett Levine says, "Where did that music come from?"
Sorry, an ad started playing. Sorry.
What's that?
An ad started playing on my system. I turned it off.
Oh.
So music was there for a second.
Yeah, Garrett said, "Where did that music come from?" Well, yeah. Hope it doesn't tie into that. Carl 83 says, "I can't recall whether Carl said it was a one-way trip." He didn't.
Didn't say anything really. That's kind of the point.
All he said is your bracelet will stay safely in the green, but just remember there are other ways to die. And I think that's what has to happen. Something that's happened to her in that mirror universe to disconnect her from the mirror universe so that she can be better off in this universe.
Now, do you want to go real dark with it for a second?
We always do.
Okay. What if, and again, this is dark, guys. I do apologize for a second. What if this was the actual treatment that Cronenberg talked about in a previous episode where they find a cure for their DNA?
Ooh.
What if they injected her with this thing that destabilizes her, which forces her to make a choice to have the crew? Because obviously, you know, it wasn't Cronenberg that said, "Hey," it was Kolber that said, "Does anyone know how to fix her?" And then he stepped forward, you know? So he comes in like the savior, says, "Oh, there's no way of solving it," but, you know, now because they've had, you know, it's a secret, but they can put, you know, information, whatever, you know, it's part of the plan. And obviously, you know, they have, I'm sure, still some level of special FTL technology, etc. I'm sure in emergency. I mean, come on, transport 50 chance. They can still get to this planet. It's not that hard. And
50 chance.
Yeah, whatever the hell that means. And so, yeah, what if this is literally a thing whereby she's making a choice to not be evil anymore, that she hates her own universe, and by the end of it, she gets to walk back through, because this planet is literally a testing bed. Because, you know, think about it, when before the burn happened, they could go really fast, so I'm sure this was only, you know, days away max, etc. And so when she walks through, it's actually the treatment that's worked, and it's now suppressed her mirror tendencies, which she chose, you know, death or be less mirror, and then it becomes a genetic change, and then you're right, she dies, not just symbolically, but that part of her is then given up, and she walks through, be losing that part of her. She's now more friendly, much more like the original Georgiou, and then she chooses to go back in time because she wants to make amends for all the damage she's done in her own, in the past. She thinks she can make a difference. Because we talked about how that could be a thing, and that would set up quite nicely there's some dodgy stuff happening in the Federation, because if all this happened because he injected her, this big song and dance just to manipulate her, but by the same token, she was the Empress of the Mirror Universe. You're allowed to have, a big song and dance to mirror her. What do you think? It's a bit of out of left field, but what do you think?
It still doesn't explain who Carl is.
No, it's nobody. It's just a computer. It's just the automated systems on the planet. I mean, they have replicable matter. It's just a hologram dude as part of a computer interface that automatically registers if you've got a Terran person. Is a hologrammatical door. They walk through it, and then obviously, since we know she's going to reappear having 1 second later, it's just a thing.
My brain hurts. Stop. My brain hurts.
Like, it's really simple that way, and it'd be dark. It was all him. And then that also explains why Vance said yes to send her there, because he's in on the plan. So it does seem weird, because he knows once she gets there, it'll take like 3 hours for it to work, and then she comes back. Like, we'll send Discovery, it's no problem. And because if they're getting slightly dark with the Federation, which neither of us hope for, but what do you guys think? Because there is logic there, there is some logic there, and it would fit in to something set up right at the start of the season, for this anyway.
Yeah, guys, let us know what you think about that. I just don't even know at this point.
But you have to admit there is some logic to it.
Sure, yeah. My brain hurts. Jarrett Levine says, based on this live chat, I think we should start a petition to make Carl the 14th Doctor. Oh.
Why?
Hezraz says, Trekyards, someone said that in classic Doctor Who, the White Guardian chills in the desert on a lawn chair. Probably inspired by multiple shows. Oh. Yes, they're going to have a crossover with Doctor Who. That's coming now. This is the thing.
Is Carl Samuel's dad? Yes.
No. Danny Shields, €5. Carl is O'Connor from Lower Decks. Painful ascendancy, painful ascended existence. Alone, doing a crossword for eternity.
All hail the koala!
Let's see here. Awesome Sauce, Trekyards. What if Georgiou is sent back into the time of Enterprise and she is the originator of the original Section 31 from before the Federation? That would be interesting.
Except there's already Section 31 in Enterprise. It was a long existing thing.
That's what he means. Let's go back further than that. And she's the one that started it. Right. Like she overshoots the time or something. That'd be interesting. Dreamer out there, $2. The show's answer won't be as good as any of ours. I don't know. They've been doing much better this season. So I got to give them some kind of credit, and hopefully it doesn't let us down. Let's put it that way.
And to be fair, though, they're allowed to also have we're not going to explain it, because because it wouldn't even be the worst. I mean, it would be anticlimactic for sure, but it wouldn't even be the worst thing if she does just at the end of the episode just appear on the ice, and Byrne was just like looking. I was like, "Where did Carl go?" And she's like, "What?" And then it's been 1 second. They both disappeared, and she wakes up. And it's like, well, I guess that was what we needed then. That would still be an appropriate way of ending it. Just ill-satisfying. And I can imagine, again, if that... I can see us then sporing to see him again for another, can you help us? And then we get more explanation. Cosmic, helper if you need it.
Mr. Super Chat, Jeff Jacobs, $2, halfway to 300, then on to 350. I guess we will see. So we're at 260 with 304 people watching. Guys, if you haven't hit like, hit that like button. I know that we can probably hit 300 easily. That's another 40 likes. People come in and out of the chat all the time, and they don't hit the like button. So hit the like button. I think we can hit. Okay, we'll aim for 275 right now.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody hitting like. Hit like right now. And we'll see if we can overshoot it. because
Yes.
people are always hitting it. Let's go to 300 if we can. So.
And I want to see 300. I want to see a like spike. I want to see everyone click like. Although Sean says, and I like this actually. He says, "Where'd Carl go?" And Michael says, "Who's Carl?"
Yeah,
that'd be good too.
I was just looking at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Carl who? Yeah.
Yeah. And that'd be it. And then I can imagine Georgiou be savvy enough to say, "What? Don't be stupid," and then just like, "So what do we find here?" And she scans it like, "Wait, you're fine. I guess it was the planet's ionosphere."
No, it was your damage to your brain because you see your head like pulling apart and defragmenting. So.
Yeah, but I mean, should we then be fixed? So she would say, "Oh, it's because of the planet itself, like it managed to stabilize the matter, etc." And then obviously as they beam away, Carl reappears and like winks at camera and says, "See, I told you I wasn't a Q." And then clicks. It's like, what?
You were all debating. I knew.
Stuart and Samuel, shut the fuck up. It's like, oh, what? Carl, why? Carl, no.
See, we had 275 or 279 now. So keep it in the like button. I think we can get to 300.
300. Click
Easily.
that like. But
Yes.
it's only one syllable. And it's 2 syllables, but I need 3. So guys, I think we're basically near the end of our discussion, which has been really good. I want to hear obviously I want to hear the 300 likes. I want to see another $50 if we can get $50. That'd be incredible with a few 5s. Throw in your last theories, things we haven't thought about yet, comments, questions, and if you want to just predict, like if you're gonna, what's the gut reaction? Because obviously we've discussed a lot of really, really varied, interesting things here, like showing how a dude next to a door can be like 19 different things.
Sci-fi can be anything, yeah. And keep in mind, tomorrow we're doing our prediction video, so we'll kind of glaze over this a little bit unless we get into it.
Well, the debate will happen in the chat, so we'll have to address it a bit.
Yes. So if you made it for this one, tune in tomorrow because it'll tie in, and we'll try to maybe we'll come to a realization tomorrow as to what it could be. We always surprise ourselves with what we notice in the next time on. So
16 likes though. You know you want to click that like button. You know you do.
And who wants the last super chat slot?
Ooh.
Right now it's Dreamer out there,
with
$2. But yeah, guys, if you want to snipe for the last super chat slot, feel free. Yeah.
And it is weird because there is so many potentials in it. The way they've made it is so varied. It's odd. Like it probably would have been more satisfying, although less simple, if it was just a Guardian of Forever. Like that would have been pretty amazing if it had just been a a more refined looking Guardian, and you could even have had him be the voice, and then sort of come out at the end and say, "Sorry, Guardian in my throat," and he walks out or something.
Justin Hampton says, "What if Carl is Sam Beckett, Captain Archer, jumping through time? Well, he can only jump within his lifetime, but again, if he does,
Wow, you threw that theory to the ground and punched it. You just punched that shit.
Oh boy.
Although
Olivia Julius. Here we go.
Sam Beckett though, he's his 30s? Because he wasn't that old. Because Scott Bakula wasn't that old when he played the part.
I'd say mid-30s, yeah.
Yeah. So he couldn't. So wouldn't that also assume that that Sam Beckett never got out? Because if he got out, then he would exist after that, which means he could go into the future of his own timeline.
But if you saw the last episode, it's unclear as to what happened specifically.
Yeah. But in his own lifetime means he can only do 30 years, which actually seems kind of short. There's lots of places in the world, and obviously it was a great show, but
it's a lot of time that covered. I hated that it was within his own lifetime, though. I would have loved to see him go back to Victorian England and shit like that.
I guess it's more expensive.
Absolutely it would be.
And as often, those shows were very simple. Like it's basically the cleverest way of having just a modern day sort of little drive. It's very
great.
Cool.
I really
want to get the Blu-ray, but it's really expensive.
Yeah. All right, let's see. We got Olivia Julius, $5. Happy fertilizers to one of our mods. Happy fertilizers to wear in technical. It's Ian's birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday!
Yeah. Danny Shields, €5. Carl is Cisco. Negative. That's a big no.
There was almost too much.
That's a negative, Ghost Slider. Pattern is full.
Stuart, I looked on Amazon, and I'm very excited to say that Quantum Leap, the complete collection, and if you look at the thing, it says last minute deal. That's what it says, right? It's currently £71.99. So that's about 100 Canadian, right? Guess what the deal price is? Special deal today. Currently £71.99 today.
49.
So the deal was to go up in price by £30.
No, you said the price is 71.
Currently today, yeah. So what is the deal?
Oh.
It is currently £71.
Oh, it was 139.
So the deal is for £71.99. The original price was £72.59.
Oh,
it's a 60 pence saving, and it literally says on it, special deal today, 60p.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm annoyed by that because I really want this Blu-ray at some point, and that's stupid.
Other says Sam Beckett did go to the 1880s, and George Magrum says Sam went to the Civil War once, claimed the DNA was close enough to let him jump. Yes, there were always little loopholes like that. Plus, we had evil jumpers. It was like a mirror universe jumper and a bad.
The lady, wasn't it?
Yeah. And yeah. So Olivia Julius, $1 snipe.
And they did go into Ziggy's timeline as well. I mean, they had the exceptions to the rule because there were always exceptions to the rule. Yeah.
And Oi Govna says, I'll send in my super chat 3 a.m. afterthoughts.
I don't think it works like that, but thank you. Guys, this was a fun discussion. I see, Stuart, I think it's fair to say, we've done this for all of the seasons, both of Discovery, of Picard, and Lower Decks, and we always want to be fair, balanced, and informative and interesting. And as we've said for all of them, we can only relay what we're given. So if the content is of lower standard, it's going to get reviewed based on that. But here we are discussing it with no negative, no complaint about characters, no whatever. It's an interesting, hour and 15-minute debate on all possibilities, very much like we did in Lower Decks. Doesn't that just signal the increasing quality of Discovery? Not just with lower expectations. It's a genuinely interesting debate that is so unlike season 1, season 2. So well done for them for making sure that it finally produces these sorts of questions, rather than what is a red angel? Ugh, don't be the mum, or don't be her. Like these sorts of, like, we're not groaning if it's a Guardian. We're not groaning if it's Q. Like that says something,
Yeah.
Your thoughts on my comment?
Yeah, it does. I don't know, because you died out. I lost your signal.
Oh, that's quite a well said speech.
It happens.
Poop.
I know, it's annoying, isn't it? It's usually me on the end of that one.
Basically,
Jeffrey Jacobs, $2. Paying early for 300s as I don't want to be the last super chat. We're at $2.99. One more like to get to 300, guys. And Olivia Julius snipes in at $1 for the last super chat slot. All right, continue.
Basically, I said, how nice is it that we don't have to complain about Discovery because they're not presenting us stuff that we have to complain about. It's more interesting, more well thought out. And unlike season 2, where we groaned at the idea of the Red Angel being Michael Burnham, and it was ugh. We haven't groaned once at it being Q or the Guardian. What does that tell you about the show and how much better it is? There you go.
It's heads and shoulders better. That's what we've pointed out. Is that planning a whole season is important. It's good. And we haven't groaned yet. I mean, there's been a few groans here and there, but this could really fall down and flat on its face in the next episode or two. We'll see how it goes. But Olivia Julius, $10, 300 likes, made Olivia pay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Excellent.
And me, no other, throws in $1 with no comment, but thank you so much. So we're at 304 likes. I'm sure we can hit 315.
Oh,
let's try for that.
Oh, one last.
11 likes. Let's go. And right now, me, no other is winning the last super chat race. So are we gonna put a timer up? Should we do a timer?
Oh, you want to add some action, do you?
Well, it's only been an hour and 15 minutes. I mean,
Well,
Olivia Julius,
100 from Olivia makes a big difference for that. We don't need to, makes a big difference to get a big super chat.
I'm running out of things to talk about. But if you guys think of anything to talk about, shoot a super chat in there and we'll talk about it.
Okay, I'm going to put a 7-minute one. So if people have things to say, they have a little bit of time.
Me No Other sniped Olivia with another $1.
We have the best snipers. You know, the lady in The Mandalorian thinks she's good, but they haven't met our snipers.
Oh.
You know?
Ooh. Carl. Has Michael ever worn a sexy dress, or is that not allowed in Discovery? She has not, that I've seen anyway.
I think there was an episode of the Mirror Universe where she kind of stripped out of stuff and she was in like just the under stuff, and it was like.
Yeah, but that's just yeah. Olivia Julius, $1. Sniping me no other. And then you got the timer on the upper left of the display screen there, so. Which is just right up there.
And Jarrett says the assets, props, and costumes are still lower quality. I mean, one thing I found interesting, and I said this during our review, it felt like a cheaper episode in the sense that they reused all the Mirror Universe stuff. Turns out, of all the things they decided to do and spend their money on, they made all the Mirror Universe stuff again from scratch, despite having all of the existing props and costumes from Season 1. So rather than spending money on the CGI models or new costumes... new sets, sorry. They decided to rebuild all the exact same costumes again because the costume designer wanted to. It's like, that would cost a lot. And instead, because of that, we get just reusing the mess hall set with the different lighting. Because for most fans, they will just see it as the same stuff again because it looks the same. It doesn't look any better necessarily. That seemed odd to me. And I appreciate the costume lady's proud of it, but it doesn't come across as being new stuff. Because it's meant to look like the stuff originally. Why are you wasting your money on doing that? You know.
Herbsta Magus, $1 snipe. And then Olivia Julius, $1 snipe. She's just sitting on top of that hill.
Yes. What do you think, Stu, about that?
And see, reusing stuff is fine. The whole remaking the costumes was a little bit of an odd choice, in my opinion. But did they get rid of them? Is that why they did it? I didn't read that article, so I don't know.
They just wanted to do them better, so they 3D print everything custom and they molded it different. They just made everything better fabrics and.
Okay, well, I don't know.
I
don't know what to say.
But there's a lot of extras because you assume maybe all of them are using the new ones, but it's probably several hundred thousands of dollars. I mean, have you seen the 3D? I was thinking this to myself. It's like the ships outlast almost everything else. People talk about the original colony more than the uniforms of TOS. People talk about the Enterprise D more than the uniforms of TNG. Eaglemoss sells them. They go on posters, on prints, on keychains, in video games. Costumes come and go. They're also important. But aside costume in the Mirror Universe, like how many of us still talk about the Mirror Universe stuff from Season 1? Costume design. No one. But we do bring up Chiron occasionally, Like the ships have a certain legacy. And so to choose to put the money there, because it's like, so that actually makes it quite expensive because everything was built from scratch, everything, and it's like, oh, it's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
Because it doesn't look expensive on the screen. It doesn't add anything to production value. It'd be fine if it was like they made 6 new ones for the heroes and everything else was reused, which I hope is what they mean. But the way they kind of say it is we just restarted again to make everything better.
Yeah. Well, Mortimus Maximus throws in $5. Do you expect that we will learn definitively what Carl is?
Ooh.
Definitively, I'd say no, but we're going to get some indication. There's going to be some saying at the end, some little, even just a sound effect that's going to indicate something. And I think it's going to be left a mystery, but it's going to be, 80% sure of what it is, would be my guess.
I would hope they would confirm it, but I'm not going to put any money on it, if that makes sense. And Rebel Poet has a great comment, which I sort of agree with. What if Trek sold all costumes at the end of every season and used the money made selling them to make new ones? Wouldn't the cost of making them be lower than the selling price? I mean, a lot of times it's the R&D that costs money because you have to pay the costume people to then build and design whatever. But as soon,
Yeah.
but as well, old costumes made money. Like a Patrick Stewart TNG would sell for 10 times what Patrick Stewart Picard costume would be. Like, you know, a shawl, a jumper in Picard versus the original uniform. You know, not even going to be close. But, you know, it doesn't cost $190 to make a 3D printed piece when you build 20 of them, etc., etc. But you can sell it for even, you know, 500. It's a good idea. Especially as, you know, imagine fans could really love getting their hands on it, and then, you know, it could be really, a really fun part of the process.
I agree.
Although I guess CBS would kind of say you need to make at least, you know, 5 million, and they're like, oh no, that's not how that works.
Yeah.
Wait, so you're only going to make 500,000? That's a lot. No, that's not a lot. You kind of remember these are like $9 million episodes, so that wouldn't even cover funding the producers for an episode, you know, or a couple of episodes. Like it's, you know.
Well, Danny Shields, though, throws in €5.
Ooh.
Gray is hiding because he is suppressing a memory from another host related to the burn. That's interesting. We should maybe talk about that in one of our prediction videos.
Bit of a left field one, because they're not hinting that at all. But it's interesting. But Stuart, we're down to our last 57 seconds. Now the sniping must begin!
Olivia Julius, $1. And then Me No Other puts in $10. Thank you.
Ooh.
It says, tell the commander I have been working on all the ships in Discovery Season 3 models sheets. Please have a look. And he provides the link there for his DeviantArt gallery.
Ooh, okay.
Let's take a look. And then Olivia Julius snipes in with $1. So
yeah, they're well done. I like them. I mean, you know, you certainly had a reasonably clear views, give or take. No, those are cool. That helps. Oh yeah, I used the pictures of Nog from my isn't that my thing of Aaron Eisenberg? Huh. Those are cool. Although Bookship is longer. You've got too sort of fat looking. But 4, 3, who's a false super gesture? Tell us. Who wins?
Ooh. It's Olivia.
Of course it is.
Are we at 1?
That's it.
All right, cool.
That's it. All right, well done, Olivia.
She sniped in again with another $1, so she definitely wins double. So
see you guys
see you
tomorrow.
guys later. Yes.
We love you.
Bye, guys.